What's up? What's up? This is the Morning Cafe. My name is Freddy Ndimuli. Karibu sana to a Feel Good Friday hapa TV 47. Nani kama sisi, we're here to wake you up the best way we know how. And today we have a crowd of dancers.
What's up, good people? This is Morning Cafe with the one and only chairman Alex Mwakideo.
Habari ya asubuhi, habari ya asubuhi. Ramadan Karim kwa wale ambao mmefunga na wale wa Kristo ambao pia mko katika mfungo wa Katoliki pia tunasema pia shikilia hapo hapo.
Unajua mkitumia Kiswahili ngumu kama hiyo. Our viewers may not understand. Yes, these are big boys of radio. Radio 47, Mwashumbe na Mwakideo.
Kwa pigo.
Hiyo ni asubuhi yaitwaje?
Breakfast 47.
Breakfast 47 and Morning Cafe.
Ongera to big boys.
Big boys of radio, I'm telling you, ndani ya Breakfast 47 this morning we have watendawili. Na kwa moto wa kuotea mbali.
Swali tunalo
kibao.
Uliza.
Swali tunao. Sifuna, Nifuna, Sifuna.
Ati?
Nifuna, Sifuna.
Nifuna, Sifuna. Nifuna, Sifuna. So swali ni?
Ndio hiyo.
Nifuna ama Sifuna? Sifuna.
That is one of our big conversations today on the youth perspective. Sisi ndio Sifuna, vijana atakuwa nazungumzia hayo. TV 47.
Absolutely. Na sisi in the Morning Cafe na nyinyi ni
Breakfast 47.
See you on air.
Enjoy.
Bye. See you.
All right. Today is also World Day of Justice, Fred. And you know what's happening? The Law Society of Kenya have a new president.
Oh yeah, they elected a president yesterday. Congratulations to City Council
Charles
Kanjama.
Yes.
Hapa kuna giza kidogo. Lakini msijali tunaingia studio.
Yeah, so that's what's happening in the country so far. The conversation about Nairobi City County is also still making headlines.
My MCA walisema wana impeach Sakaja alafu wakageuka wakasema
wakasema sasa wako sawa.
Sasa wamegeuka.
Sasa, you know, the tune has changed. This is not the first time we're seeing that script.
Within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours.
They have changed their mind.
Walipewa nini? That's the only question I'd love to ask.
Sio lazima wapewe kitu. Sio wengine tu walikuwa wanataka kufanya kazi.
Unajua sometimes ukipewa maziwa ukiwa mtoto ukilia and then unapewa maziwa unakunywa and then
kulikuwa na public participation ya MCA. Sasa wamekubali, wamesema hiyo cooperation it is the best thing for Nairobi.
Yes. Initially that was the bone of contention. Wakasema they were not included, they were not involved, walikuwa wamefeel left out. But now collaboration iko chonjo. Operation Nairobi must work. So again, once again, Sifuna,
Nifuna, Sifuna. That's a big conversation.
Because wamesema Sifuna.
All right, this is a look kwa studio wale ambao hawajaiona. Kama mjaona hiyo poleni, taleta kwingine. All right, a lot of discussions this morning. Alafu kuna nimeona kwa gazeti moja, there are governors, about 15 of them, who don't go to the counties, to their respective counties.
All right.
So nimewacha hiyo maneno ya simu.
Yes.
Selfie meisha.
Now that is our camera. All right, so much lined up for you in this show. It's also a Feel Good Friday, but while starting this show, Prezo will be here. Prezo le moja.
The
one and only Prezo.
Act like you know.
Yes.
Prezo. All right.
Yes, so let's come back and take a look at the weather. All right, let's see how the weather's looking across the country. We'll start off in Limuru. We haven't looked at Limuru in a long time. This morning, Limuru, it's 14 degrees, a little bit of precipitation there. Actually, it's raining as we speak in Limuru. As you can see today, they will be expecting highs of 24 degrees. That is this Friday weather. So comfortable weather in Limuru today. Usually this is a very cold place. And this is the weather just for today. Tomorrow it drops to 21 degrees to 20 degrees on Sunday. And then to next week, the same weather situation. We take a look at Bomet now. Yes. We have Bomet. How it's looking, it's likely to rain today as well in Bomet. This morning, it's 14 degrees and it's raining as we speak. Highs of 23 degrees in Bomet today, so comfortable weather, not so bad. Mvua imerudi Nairobi. Bomet, looking good. Let's cross over to Mombasa now. Do we have Mombasa? Tuone kama there's holiday weather in Mombasa. Or let's take a look at Malindi first. Malindi is very, very hot. It's a sunny day in Malindi. Partly cloudy. This morning it's 27 degrees. Highs of 30 degrees. No precipitation in Malindi today. Tomorrow it goes up to 31 degrees. And that's the weather up until next week, Tuesday. Let's cross over to Marsabit. One of the areas hard hit by drought. Tuangalie kuna kaa vipi, either Marsabit, Bomet, areas like Isiolo. As we wait for that, Nairobi is also doing quite well. All right, but in Malindi, as we were taking a look at Malindi, as you can see, once again, holiday weather. Malindi, if you want to go to Malindi, this is perfect. It's 27 degrees this morning. Tomorrow, it will be also 27 degrees. So this is the weather for Malindi on Tuesday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and on Monday, it goes to 25 degrees. Mombasa, same. This morning, it's 27 degrees. A little bit of precipitation is expected in Mombasa, though. Highs of 31 degrees today. Tomorrow, that's the same weather. Tomorrow in Mombasa, on Sunday, drops to 30 degrees. And on Tuesday, it goes up to 33 degrees. We take a look now at other areas, and we go to Isiolo. We have Isiolo here. Yes, there it is. This morning, it's 18 degrees, highs of 33 degrees expected. It's a sunny day in Isiolo today. Tomorrow, there will be a little bit of precipitation with highs of 29 degrees, so that's good for this area. And on Sunday, of course, it goes up high to 30 degrees, 32 degrees on Monday, and on Tuesday to 31 degrees. Kitale looking good this morning. It's raining 15 degrees as we speak, as you can see in this projection that we're using here. Highs of 25 degrees in Kitale today, so that's comfortable weather, not so bad. On Saturday, it drops, that is tomorrow, it will drop to 24 degrees. On Sunday to 23, and then it goes up high on Monday and Tuesday to 26 degrees. So this is just an overview of how the weather is looking across the country. And we'll be back to, of course, to give you more detailed look at how this is looking. Let's come back and take a look at the quote of the day.
It is never too late to be what you might have been.
All right, let's start off with a star. The Weekend Star today talks about that big discussion that we'll be having with the young Kenyans about what's happening in ODM with Sifuna. So ODM factions in epic war to take over Raila bases. They've done a photo there on the front page, pitting the two sides, Sifuna versus Oburu. Na ametumia ile picha party leader akisema ngo. So on his side kuna Abdul Swamad, kuna Joho, Wanga, Rati na Junet. On the other side there's Amisi, Babu, Osotsi, Orengo and Winnie. This one side of ODM, yes, you know, wale wanaenda Kakamega, it's tomorrow. Ile Linda Mwananchi movement, they'll be having their rally at Kakamega tomorrow. So the rivalry, they say, threatens to weaken parties' leverage in poll talks with UDA. Remember, the party is set for coalition talks with UDA. They say this rift that currently exists could cost them in that negotiation. So that's the main story there on the front page of the Weekend Star. The paper is quite heavy today. Imejaa maswali mengi na hadithi nyingi zaidi. Other stories given prominence on the front page: violence, politics, a test of resilience for women aspirants with disabilities. It's a story on page 16, and aspiring politicians who living with disability, and the challenges they face during campaigns. And the violence that we've seen so far could be an extra challenge for them. Silent killer Garissa's 40 degrees centigrade heat wave leaves residents on the brink. Even as we take a look at weather, now tumekuwa tukiona inaenda inapanda 38 degrees. Now it's hitting 40 degrees Celsius in Garissa, and they're saying that's a heat wave. Incidentally, we'll be looking at Garissa is one of those, I think, the governors wenye wajaenda nyumbani. It's on a different paper there. We're saying how heavy this paper is. It's because it has a siasa pull out. It's a weekend, and the main story there, Ruto headache as Mount Kenya pushes Kindiki as 2027 running mate. Yes, hiyo story hakuna mali inaenda.
Yes.
Mount Kenya wamesema kama si Kindiki mutaona moto. Yes. Right. So that's the Star. Huku ndani wanazungumzia, and I've seen they have the story on page 2 about the LSK elections.
Yeah.
But I think by the time they were going to press, they had not announced the winner. Senior counsel Charles Kanjama emerged winner in the LSK elections. He's now president-elect of the Law Society of Kenya. He beat Mawara Kafata and Peter Wanyama in those elections. So congratulations to Charles Kanjama.
All right.
And that's the Star.
The Standard absentee governors, all of them are here on the front page of this newspaper. Leaders go AWOL. More than 500 billion shillings has flowed into marginalized counties since devolution. Yet residents say they are still trapped in penury, while Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Isiolo and Marsabit rank among the country's top spenders on development. Critics argue the money has built offices, residences and prestige projects rather than roads, water systems and hospitals. Part of the problem is governors leading from Nairobi instead of the ground, where they can prioritize what affects majority of the residents. As billions are accounted for on paper, citizens are demanding to know where is the change on the ground. All of them are here: Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Isiolo and Marsabit. These are counties that are hard hit by drought.
Yes.
The 3.3 million people across the country in the 23 counties, these are just some of the counties that are hard hit.
Yes, the counties are regarded as, what do you call them? Fringe, wala kukule marginalized counties. Northern Kenya, extreme north and eastern part of the country.
Jeremiah Lomorukai, Turkana County Governor. Isa Timami of Lamu, Ahmed Abdullahi of Wajir, Abdi Guyo of Isiolo, Mohammed Aidan of Mandera, Nathif Jama of Garissa, Muhammad Ali of Marsabit and Benjamin Cheboi of Baringo. These are absentee governors according to the Standard this morning. It's the only story given prominence on the front page. We take a look at the inside pages. Page 2, beyond fasting, what all faithful should aspire for this holy month. It says the holy month is a time for spiritual renewal and strengthening faith in Allah. Lakini hata pia Catholics, unajua, they are fasting. Especially this. Right now, they're not supposed to eat things like kuku and chicken. Anything yenye natoa blood, that's forbidden, especially for Fridays. Yes, so they've been told if by 40 days they won't be losing some weight. Okay, that is something my priest said on Sunday, last Sunday. Irony of governors who spend most on development with little to show. It's the same story on the front page. It's a story on page 4 and 5.
And I like that the Standard has done this special edition with the devolution crisis. Remember, even in Nairobi, you're still talking about the issue of devolution.
Yeah.
The fact that the county administration appears to be ceding a lot of its authority to the national government. It's also a question on the devolution crisis. But the angle they've taken is on desertion, the number of governors who actually spend more time in Nairobi and not in their respective counties. Devolution or desertion. Northeastern leaders face local wrath. And now, on page 6, there's a story pale chini about one of the governors who apparently stays away from his office because of witchcraft.
Wow.
Yes.
Ni nani?
Anasema Tana River. Wacha nisome tu sababu iko kwa headline. Anasema witchcraft keeps Tana River governor away from office. So wengine sababu ni nini? Huyu mmoja amesema at least ni witchcraft. But then again. Anyway. So that's the main story there.
All right. On page 8, they also make mention of that LSK election. Kanyama elected lawyers lobby boss to succeed Faith Odhiambo. Russia embassy speaks on hiring for Ukraine war. This story is on page 9. Embassy denied involvement in the recruitment of Kenyans to fight in its war with Ukraine.
or it just denies involvement in the recruitment. Does not deny the fact that there are quite a number of Kenyans who are already fighting in that war. Okay.
On the back page?
Back page, Matter Sports, Arsenal. Even in bad times, Jesus, okay, I think wanataka tusome, Jesus will not leave you. Jesus will not leave you. So Arteta urges Arsenal to stand up after title beat rocked by Wolves. They drew 2-2 this week. Arsenal fans were kasirika sana. For a second successive league game, the Gunners had failed to hold on to a lead. That's the main story. And they talk about Gabriel Jesus gesturing in the Premier League match there. So, right. Relegation threatened Wolves. I want to the bottom of the table. Now I'll hold Arsenal, top of the league. Extremes. That's the standard.
All right. People Daily, Wetangula and Mudavadi. They call them the besieged duo. Wetangula and Mudavadi, will they survive the political heat? It's a question the People Daily is analyzing on page 4. Will they? There's
a lot of movement and dynamics in Western Kenya politics. And interestingly, the Linda Mwananchi movement is going to Kakamega. No one is sure how Western Kenya will go next year. Right now, with the cracks in ODM, we're not sure Western Kenya itakuwa upande gani. So yes, that's why they are looking at these two gentlemen who are apparently or expected to be the leaders in that region. Will they survive the political heat? With the emergence of new leadership like Sifuna, Tawe movement, Osotsi, who's a deputy party leader of ODM. All of them will actually be in Kakamega tomorrow. So interesting. Besieged duo. That story is on page 4.
Can Ruto fix Nairobi amid nationwide crisis?
Why is he focusing on Nairobi alone? Yet wakiongea kuhusu devolution crisis, the problem is everywhere.
Easy counties tumemention hapo, wanalala njaa. This story is on page 2. Can Ruto fix Nairobi amid nationwide crisis? Why Kenya Kwanza is regretting the Gachagua purge? Oh, wow.
Are they?
Are they? No, that's the question. Are they? It's a story on page 5. And that's the People Daily.
All right, for the People Daily, let's go to the Daily Nation. The Daily Nation today talks about how police foiled city terror plot. Daily Nation. So they're talking about, and they have an image of the NIS Director General Nuruddin Haji. So they say on the eve of the rare coincidental start of Ramadan and Lent, they started on Wednesday, so this is about Tuesday, security agents stormed a hideout in Kajiado and seized 13 men. The operation on Tuesday night followed days of painstaking surveillance on the suspects who were plotting a terrorist attack. The story is on pages 4 and 5. They seized 5 AK-47 rifles in that trade, 1 Makarov pistol, 20 magazines with about 600 rounds of ammunition, 6 hand grenades. Medical supplies also impounded, include some paracetamol, elastic bandages. They were ready even to treat themselves in case of any injuries. They had acid-reducing medication, vitamin K injections that help in blood clotting in case of injury. Walikuwa tayari for this one. Disposable syringes as well. That's a story on Daily Nation, and ni kama tulisahau kuangalia gazeti ya huku kwingine, lakini tutarudi. So that's story on page 4 and 5. The last time we had a serious terror attack, it's years ago, and we only laud the security agencies for foiling this one before it happened, because it is a very, very interesting time when both the Muslims and the Christians are enjoying a different time with Ramadan and Lent. How police foiled Nairobi terror plot set for Holy Month. Other stories given prominence on the front page of the Daily Nation: why a Nairobi governor is unable to govern in peace. Out of the 3 administrations, only one survived without this national government taking over. So they say Nairobi stands out as the only county to have had 5 governors since the advent of devolution in 2013. In 15 years, they've had 5 governors. Yes. The incumbent, Johnson Sakaja, joins his predecessors in seeking state help to run the city. Story on page 10, of course, the debate is always that probably Nairobi should receive different kind of treatment. It is too complex as a seat of the national government, as where all international embassies are located. The UN is based here. Probably we are asking or demanding too much from the governor. Probably a governor is not able to do that.
No, he campaigned and said that he wanted to transfer all affairs and functions of the city to City Hall.
Probably he imagined they could, but probably the reality on the ground is that no single governor can actually run this city. If 2 of them are about to go back to to the national government, waseme hii kazi ni ngumu. Shouldn't we just be real and look at the management of Nairobi? Is it even feasible for it to be run by a county governor? Well,
is it not?
This paper continues serializing this book by the Chief Justice. It's titled Courting Courage by Chief Justice Martha Koome. It is her biography, and she gives a story about those feeder women, the face-off with Moi's minister of a sex saga. This happened back in the 90s. Interesting story, and a historical look at that. All right. On the back page of this paper, Magical Kenya Open, Kenyan siblings in race for 60 million shillings prize at Karen. So Magical Kenya Open golf tournament is happening. Bidding introduced for tourneys hosting rights. Magical Kenya Open, I think they're just focusing on that golf tournament, even on the other pages, 3 pages, just focusing on this. It's starting on Friday today at the current Country Club.
All right, that's the Daily Nation. Let's take a look at Taifa Leo. Mauaji ya kinyama. This newspaper is so light. Inakuanga hivi. No, we are still new to this. Mama mmoja na wanawe watatu kutoka eneo la Bahati, kaunti ya Nakuru, wamekamatwa kwa kushukiwa kuhusika na mauaji ya kikatili ya mumewe. Bwana Peter Mwangi wa miaka 73 alipatikana akiwa ameshambuliwa ndani ya nyumba iliyofungwa kutoka nje mnamo Februari tarehe 16 mwaka huu. Mahakama yaruhusu makachero kuzuilia mama na wanawe watatu kuhusiana na mauaji ya mzee wa boma. Marehemu yuko hapa katika ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. Vidokezo zaidi, Vurumai Githurai. Uharibifu mkubwa uliotokea mtaani Githurai, Nairobi jana asubuhi baada ya vibanda vya wauzaji kubomolewa. Kenya National Highways Authority, hiyo ni Kenya, ilikuwa imetoa ilani ya kuwataka wafanyabiashara katika mzunguko wa Roysambu na Githurai kuondoka kupisha ujenzi wa kituo cha mabasi mahali hapo. Now businesses are doing well pale Roysambu and Githurai. Hawa watu wote wanaenda wameondolewa na wanaenda wapi? Okay, they say it's for the purpose of expansion of that road. Letu jicho will be on the lookout for that. Aliyedaiwa kuumbua rais aachiliwa. Mwanafunzi wa chuo kikuu cha Moi nje baada ya ushahidi dhidi ya kosa kukosekana. Iko katika ukurasa wa 4.
Ule jamaa ambaye alikimbia alikuwa anataka kumfikia rais.
Uni ule alimweka kwa coffin.
Oho, okay, okay.
So akasema hakuna
kosa.
Hakuna case hapo. Yes. He has been acquitted. This story is on page 4. MCA sasa waunga Sakaja. It's another story on page 2. Madiwani wa Nairobi wameidhinisha mkataba wa ushirikiano na serikali kuu. And on page 8, Gabon yazima mitandao kuokoa nchi. Mtandao upi? Wa TikTok.
Remember we were talking about TikTok in Kenya, and there was a proposal to ban TikTok.
Yes.
In Gabon they've done it, and they say it's for the good of the country. TikTok imeleta shida kwingi.
Lakini sisi pia unajua a lot of people are making money on TikTok. Ukienda pale TikTok unapata watu wako live wanauza whatever they are selling, unapata nguo, unapata electronics, all sorts of things. Sasa unaona wale ambao wanafanya something that is not in order are going to also have these people affected in one way or the other. True. In a bad way. Maafisa watibua shambulio kubwa la kigaidi huku Ramadhani kianza. Habari hiyo tumezungumzia katika gazeti la The Daily Nation. On the back page, pressure Arsenal wakianza kuporomoka.
Arsenal.
That's Taifa Leo.
Kwenye Business Daily leo, unclaimed shares, cash and M-Pesa cross 100 billion shillings. So unclaimed assets have crossed the 100 billion shilling mark for the first time, swelling the coffers of a treasury unit amid struggles to find their owners. So the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority is sitting on 115 billion, because even 100 billion and then some of these in bonds, they continue to attract interest, so they're still earning. So the UFA, Unclaimed Assets Authority, has about 115 billion shillings, which is sitting idle because they're still looking for the owners.
Wow.
Now owners pengine wako mahali, they are suffering. Hawajui kumbe kuna pesa mabilioni yao inaketi mahali.
Imagine.
The irony of life. So the idle assets have earned 13.1 billion shillings return from bonds. Investors are showing disinterest in reclaiming wealth.
Imagine wanaomba watu waende hizo pesa.
Munaomba muende pesa zenu, lakini no one is interested. 115 billion shillings.
Wow.
Kenya Pipeline IPO deadline extended. Yes, it was undersubscribed. It's been extended now by 3 days because it's struggling to hit the 106.3 billion fundraising target. So they've extended it for about 3 days. On the ticker, state pending bills drop by 57 billion in 3 months. That's a positive story. PwC 6 buyer of Coco Networks assets and NSC shares orders quadruple on M-Pesa trading platform. That M-Pesa trading platform for shares, I think now it's working. And it's really helping.
All right, now it's only fair that we take a look at the regional dailies as well, just major headlines.
Major headlines.
Daily Monitor, 25% salary rise for arts teachers. That's the main story here. Uko walimu wanakula vizuri. It's the same story?
It's the same story on the New Vision, but this one not about what they're eating, it's about the best teachers. It's only happening in Uganda where they list the best teachers pale kwa front page. So best UCE teachers wako pale kwenye front page ya New Vision. Matters education, both on the Daily Monitor and the New Vision in Uganda.
Kule Bongo, the Citizen surge of fiber optic poles in Dar sparks urban planning concern. That's the main story then. Of course, gold powers Tanzania's export growth as earning. People of Kisumu, leave me alone. Leave me alone. He said gold powers Tanzania's export growth as earnings hit $17.6 billion. That's the Citizen.
Positive story there from Tanzania. Kwa gazeti la Mwananchi, uwakili wa viti maalum stop. Mahakama Kuu yafuta ruksa kwa wanasheria wa sekta za umma kupewa hadhi ya wakili bila kupitia mafunzo ya uwakili katika shule ya sheria Tanzania. Hauwezi kuwa advocate kama hujapitia Kenya School of Law.
Yes.
Najua. So hata kule wamesema ni hivyo. Habari kuu pale kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa Mwananchi. Nafikiri Tanzania pengine kulikuwa na mambo tofauti.
All right. Tuangalie caricature. Tunaanza na ile ya People Daily, Stano Stake. The Sakaja here akukua ikitu yoitwaje Freddy. So far no pain. I am a governor with 9 lives. Huyo ni Sifuna. Ikitu ya
Sifuna Sakaja.
Yes, pole. Jamani pole sana seneta. Huyu ni governor Sakaja. Hii kitu inaitwaje? Yes, whatever you can see on the screen.
Hiyo.
Niyo.
Ya wale seremala anafungia kitu hapo alafu anaiunda. Huyu jamaa amefinywa hapo. On the Standard today, nafikiri Hari ndio yuko pale and amefocus na mambo international. So the law is after Prince Andrew who's running. Amefungiwa, kuna ile mzigo inamlemea sana, abstain files. You know, Prince Andrew actually lost his right to be part of the royal family. So he's no longer referred to as Prince Andrew. Anaitwa Andrew sijui jina Mountbatten ama kitu kama hiyo. So that's what Harry is focusing on.
All right, the cartoon on the Star talks about ODM, Linda Ground, Skiza Ground, Linda Chama, Linda Mwananchi, Linda Kiti. Everyone is all over the place. So kila mtu amewekwa mahali pake. We see yule wa Skiza Ground wako pale, DCP party leader, the United Opposition rather. We have the Linda Ground here, the chairperson ODM, Junet Mohammed is here. Yule wa Mombasa, Linda Chama yuko hapa peke yake. Okech Sala.
Okech Sala yani walinda Chama kuna chungu yake kando.
Peke yake na chunga okay. Na unajua anakaa mtoto hapo kwa kona. Linda Mwananchi pia wako hapa, this team Babu Owino Sifuna and of course this is Orengo. Na Linda Kiti yule wanataka ile kiti ya deputy president, nothing less than that. Wako hapa amebeba chungwa anataka kuiweka.
I think that's the best cartoon I've seen this morning.
Yes, that's
the one on the Daily Nation talks about the Kenyans who are going to Russia to fight in the Ukraine war. Alafu, a caricature of President Putin says they are volunteers, really. Yeah. Alafu, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the CS is caricatured here as a tortoise. And is moving very slow in addressing this. But it's a trap because pale ndege imefungua milango, lakini there's a mouse trap there. Africa, Russian job offers. They are volunteers, really. Wameamua tu wamejipeleka Russia kupigana vita. Ambao hawaelewi inaanzia wapi na kuishia wapi.
All right. So these are the stories making headlines locally and of course regionally as well. Today it's a Feel Good Friday once again. We'll be having Daddy V, he's a music artist, and of course Prezo. The one and only Prezo will be here, and Bansi Kimui will be joining us later on the show. But the question we are asking this morning is the Sisi Sifuna movement, has it managed to spark or to reignite the Gen Z spark? All right.
All right.
Let's come back and take a look at the state of traffic in Nairobi.
At exactly 29 minutes past 6, this is a traffic situation on major roads in Nairobi, and we start off at the Pangani interchange. You can already see it's very busy all the way from the Utalii Drift up Mathare Mental Hospital to the Pangani interchange. Hapo ndio uta spend time, at least for those coming from Kiambu Road. Leo haijaanzia pale Muthaiga. It is only on the Pangani interchange. Kiambu Road, the rest of the stretch is okay. Tuangalia up north ya Thika Road, kuna kuanga na shida pale na ni kama leo hakuna. Thika Road is not so bad today. A bit of traffic on Outer Ring Road just before you get to the Allsops pale with that interchange with Thika Road, but it's moving kwa ile side lane pale karibu kia Michael. If we go down further on Outer Ring Road, this is Jogoo Road, and a long stretch kutoka pale ile junction ya Buruburu all the way to Mbotela past Makadara. Pale matatu nafikiri zimejaa, watu ni wengi, matatu ni mingi kuliko watu. Wamejaa kwa barabara pale. And slow moving traffic all the way to the City Stadium roundabout on Jogoo Road. This is Mombasa Road. The interchange pale Ole Sereni with the Southern Bypass. It is looking green all the way. If we go further back towards Imara Daima, it's green. Hata pale airport, sio mbaya sana. Not bad. The traffic there sio mbaya sana, but I can see a bit of traffic building up on the Eastern Bypass before you get to Cabanas, but it's moving there. The western side of the city, Southern Bypass, not looking bad this morning. It is green all the way from Gitaru. I can see sections of Langata Road, Sunshine Pale, not so bad this morning. Even Mbagathi Road, inaitwa Raila Odinga Way, siku hizi sio Mbagathi Road. Sio mbaya sana, all the way down from Timol mpaka pale juu inaitwaje, City Mortuary roundabout. The other major highways, I think Jogoo Road and Ngong Road. Ngong Road is green all the way from the junction to the City Mortuary roundabout. Let's take a look at Wayaki Way. Wayaki Way down from Gitaru, I can see a bit of ini wapi hapa nimeona, ni Nairobi School ama ni wapi? Kule juu, upande ile ya juu kule, it's looking good. Yes, tuende juu tena. Yes, I can see a bit of red hapa, lakini ni wale wanaingia kwa expressway on this side. But Westlands pale kuna a bit of traffic, matatu zikiwa pale chini. Expressway iko sawa, it's green, but ile barabara ya chini pale, there's a bit of traffic as well. That's a traffic situation.
All right, 30 minutes past 6 a.m. Talk to us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube on X.
At TV47 Digital.
You can tag us at _Dida is my handle.
At Fred Indimuli, remember to use the hashtag Morning Cafe TV47.
Remind them the question of the day.
Once again, the question is, has the Sisi Sifuna movement managed to reignite the Gen Z spark? What do you think? That's a conversation we'll be having with young Kenyans after the break.
All right.
All right, welcome back and good morning once again. It is a Friday, so it is a youth perspective. And today we want to discuss this phrase, Sisi, ndio Sifuna. It is a morning cafe on TV 47. My name is Fred Indimuli. Today I have a very youthful panel with me. On my right, we do have Nick Mwangi, who's a political analyst, and next to him, Ken Babu, who is the youth chair, the United Opposition. On my left, Hans Rop, political analyst, and Vera Chepkorir Tuwei, also an analyst. Karibuni sana. So, Sisi ndio Sifuna. Is it simply hype? Or do you feel that probably this is a reawakening of the Gen Z spark, or a reignition of the Gen Z spark? Nick.
A very good morning, Fred, to you and the people of Roysambu. I don't know if it's by design that the side of minority have already landed themselves.
They're yet to declare their position.
You have already declared as the side of majority. Well, Sisi ndio Sifuna started as a Kenya Moja movement almost 1 year ago. And it was a way of Sifuna trying to redefine his path, because at that moment it was a back and forth of whether he will stand with the broad-based government or he will chant his way. And unfortunately, on October 15th, 2025, they lost their party leader. And the Senator of Nairobi, Edwin Sifuna, became more clear, because at that point now, the alienation, the insults, the political antagonistic was very clear in the party. And fast forward to almost one and a half weeks ago, the ODM party, quote unquote, NEC, convened in Mombasa and decided, look, we don't need Sifuna anymore. Little did they know that that was the engine power that they were giving. It's like when you're changing fuel and you add the extra energy that is usually given at the Shell company. And all of a sudden, the momentum of Mimi ndio Sifuna totally changed to Sisi ndio Sifuna. And it has given a new political definition in Kenya. Everyone is completely, one, astonished. Two, it was the people of the minority, as I said this morning, are now scattered and wondering where they are, what they need to do. And three, and you see the other day, this week, we saw the president aide in Kakamega. He was already shouting that, you know what, we're already losing. We need to do something. And the unfortunate bit, Fred, I will tell you, is that it's no longer about Sifuna. It's about the people.
Okay. But the question is, because I can already see the attempts to own this movement, because it would appear that even the political elite, the status quo has shifted, because those who are there appear a bit confused by this Linda Mwananchi or whatever movement, if we may call it that is led by Sifuna. But I'm keen on how that may have impacted on the Gen Z. We talked about, and we talked about on the youth perspective quite a number of times, the level of lethargy on the youthful voter in Kenya. They're not even registering to vote. But we are seeing the excitement, as they say, Sisi ndio Sifuna. That connection is what I'm looking for, Hans. Do you think that this probably is an opportunity for the Gen Z to be re-excited about their involvement in Kenyan politics?
Good morning, Fred. Is it an opportunity? There's something that I've studied with our youth, more the Gen Z's. Lack of consistency. If today there was a consistency, even many leaders will toe to the line. What am I studying in this game? I'm just studying a continuous game of politics all along. If you study the politics all day from 2002, there's always some kind of a game plan that comes in. They're always hyped to bring a change. And it is always sways a political thought towards them. You saw what happened in 2002. Then we came to 2005 when they were trying to bring the new Katiba. That's how ODM came in to be. It churned out. 2007 came in, 2013, 2017, 2018. You saw what it came with UDA, you see. And now people always want to hype out as if they're bringing a new change. And that's how they change the mind of a voter. But then, so that's what makes me think about the likes of Sifuna today, Babu, in the Linda Mwananchi. But then my thinking would be this. Kenya itself, and more the agencies, is that they always change their mind probably every week. Today we have Sifuna trending. Next week we'll have something else. Before Sifuna, we had the Russian guy. Before the Russian guy, we had another person. When Ricky G came in, you wouldn't imagine there's another person.
So even this will just die down?
If Ricky G today goes back to US, he'll not get the reception he got when they were the hyperness. Okay. And I've realized this thing is Kenyan. It affects even the Kenyans who are outside the country.
Short-lived hype.
If Sifuna today goes to US, he'll get a better reception than what Ricky G did.
Yes.
If they go together with Ricky G and so on, Sifuna will get a better
So your prediction is that this hype will last only for a short period?
If it is timed well, if by any chance a candidate, times this kind of hyper politics in Kenya at the time of election, that candidate may suit the
very close to election.
Yeah. So
it's too early now.
Yeah. So despite the fact I have my personal choice of where I support, if my candidate or any other kind of candidate times it at the right time of voting time in August next year, it will suit the.
But right now it's not the right time.
Yeah. So in short, we are not ready as youth to vote on independent thinking. We vote on hype, because if today a situation favors me to seem like I'm fighting, or the political arithmetic favors me as a leader today, at the point whereby I'm being undermined by those who think not to be supporting the change in the country, and I hype it higher, people will elect me with not necessarily having the details of the kind leadership I have. Okay. Like I indicated before, that apart from the hyperness in Parliament and the hyperness in the TV station of Nairobi Senator Sifuna, suppose he's given an administrative position, do we know his skill on implementation of government policies?
Okay. Vera, do you agree with Hans that this is only hype for the next 1, 2, 3? It's a top trend right now. Sisi ndio Sifuna, young Kenyans are excited, but it won't go beyond 3 weeks.
Indeed, Fred, yes, I do agree with Hans, and thank you for inviting me on this show to talk about these pertinent issues facing us. This is just a passing wind. Give it 3 months maximum. We know in our country there's always a culture of hyping things. There's this excitement that has come now that Sifuna has been removed as the party SG. So I don't think this will really take a long time. And this is the right slogan. I call it a slogan because I don't see any ideology attached to it. I'm not seeing any structured manifesto or a policy that Sifuna and the crew are really selling to Kenyans. So this is a slogan that is tied to a person or some personalities who are yet to advance their agendas in the political space. I think it is a tug of war between the old guards and the young Turks.
Isn't that this war, or seemingly push and pull between generations, isn't that probably what the Gen Zs were missing? That they felt that it was just the old generation talking politics, they had no space. Don't you think that this newfound movement, which is, you said, youthful, could actually excite this younger voter?
Yeah, it could excite, but I've said, up to what extent? What is Kenyans are not consistent, and especially the young people. So it's a matter of time, and I'll really need to be convinced of whether it is reawakening the Gen Z movement. Because if you look at it, it is not even in the grassroots. The Gen Z movement was deeply rooted in the grassroots. Okay. The mobilization was done in the grassroots. But I'm only seeing this Mimi ni Sifuna movement as in the urban space.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Babu, superficial that won't last beyond 3 months. It's just a trend, and like trends, they fizzle out within weeks. Do you agree? Would that be your analysis of this Sisi Sifuna movement?
Thank you, Fred. First, allow me to congratulate my brother and friend Charles Kanjama for having won the 52nd seat, as the president of the state of Kenya. It was long overdue for us to have a man of his caliber on that seat. I would answer that question in three folds. One, it is safe for me to say that Sifuna, as of now, has outgrown the county politics and is amongst the people that we are actually looking at the national level to put up a conversation and actually answer the biggest question we've been asking: where's the young people on the table? And I want to say that Sifuna movement did not just come yesterday or after he was thrown out of ODM faction. Sifuna Edwin has been here, and we've seen him even before Raila died, and he has been the defiant child within the ODM faction, asking legitimate questions at the right time to the right people. And so it will be unfortunate for somebody to sit here and say that it is something that is going to fizzle out very soon. I want to put on record that if you look at that alliance, they had started something like, they had something before the Sifuna removal.
Kenya Moja.
Kenya Moja, yeah. Then it means that it's an idea that has been crafted for a long time, but the time for it to erupt had not just arrived. And if you watched what happened in Kitengela, it is safe to say that the Gen Z, to some extent, the Gen Zs are aligning with this movement. Let me tell you, Fred, as of today, if you put, if you go to elections with the current situation as they are right now, the president would not get much. Because the same people who went to the streets on 2024 to say that this guy should go are the same people who are going to these rallies of Sisi ndio Sifuna. And remember, to some extent, there's no mobilization that's being done. Me, I was in Kitengela, I wasn't mobilized. I just saw it and I looked at the conversation and the ideas that are being pushed, and I said, okay, I think we need to align with this cause. And Busia was bad, and Kakamega will not be a joke anymore. And after that, I want to tell you and I want to put on record that the conversation is going to shift. But of importance is that we need to now narrow down this mobilization into votes. Because at the end of the day, we are not going to keep mobilizing.
Do you think that this movement could actually probably turn the tide towards more registration by these younger voters? So far, there's still no interest from the Gen Zs to register as voters.
Well, I would like to say that the Gen Zs are registering. It's just that they are not registering to the rate in which we are expecting.
It's 18 months to election day.
Now, this is what's going to happen. You see, the Gen Zs, if you listen to the young people outside there, because maybe I'm in a position where I listen to these people, I get to interact with them. The concern has been, we've not yet seen a presidential candidate that would inspire us to go and register. But then, the concern is, what if you find this presidential candidate who inspires you few days to elections and you've not registered? So how are we going to help the situation?
Yes.
And that's why even in the Kitengela church meeting, the clarion call was, go and register first. So that as we push this course, we are pushing this course with well armed with the ballot, with the vote, so that the moment you realize that, okay, it is Sifuna who can be who is inspiring us. Is it Kalonzo? Is it person A or B? Then you can go and now cast.
Yes. Should the focus...
And allow me land on that. As I was just bringing it up, it is very critical for the leaders of this movement, the likes of Babu Owino, Edwin Sifuna, Akina Kaleba Misi, to understand that this movement needs to narrow down into something serious. And then it should be chanted towards proper mobilization towards voting. And of course, it must have agenda and clear roadmap, so that people do not just go to the stadiums and fill the stadiums and chant one time and all that, and then come back home without clear roadmap and end game. There should be a clear end game, there should be a clear roadmap, and the conversation should now shift from just slogans into proper voter mobilization.
Okay, and that's a accusation that I think even Vera put across, that the fact that this group, the Linda Mwananchi grouping, does not appear to be focusing on one thing. Should that focus be what Babu says, that probably right now the focus should be on mobilizing for voter registration? Do you think that can be a selling point for this movement?
Well, I think it's very clear, Fred, that all Kenyans are agreeing that the main selling point where we are going to the market is just one thing, that Ruto must go. That Kenyans are convinced. They said that the Gen Z movement died, right? Gen Z has reawakened with Sisi and Sifuna. And I told you last year, Fred, by the time we are hitting 25th June 2026, this government is already in panic. They have no options. And you see, they say that since the late Raila Amolo Odinga died, no one can mobilize organically the people. We have seen Sifuna rising the spirit of Masinde Muliro. We are seeing Sifuna who rose again the spirit of Kijana Wamalwa. We are seeing Sifuna again rising the spirit of the late Raila Amolo Odinga. And it is very, because the minority side, it's like they're living in Rome, Fred, because they're saying that this movement has not reached grassroots. Which grassroots are they talking about? Where are they doing their listening, Fred? Because where I come from, Roysambu, the conversation is already happening. If you go today to Jivanji, Fred, this early morning, people are saying, what will happen tomorrow in Kakamega? People are already having a conversation after Kakamega because we are going to Mombasa, Fred. Because I will tell you one thing for a fact, and I agree with Ken, that it's not about people registering as voters, because we will register as voters. We just needed to agree, who are we voting for as president? Yes.
All right. A very interesting question. And before I come to you, Rob, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll be expanding this panel as we continue discussing Sisi ni Sifuna. Has this movement managed to reignite the Gen Z spark? This is the Morning Cafe. Right, welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe on TV 47. Being a Friday, of course, it's a youth perspective, and today we're asking them, has the Sisi Sifuna catchphrase or movement, if you may like, managed to reignite the Gen Z spark? Hans Ropp here disagrees, and you say it will fizzle out in a few months. But don't you think, or do you feel that even in the short term, that this catchphrase or even movement could be productive in as far as exciting younger Kenyans to register as voters? It has been suggested that that could be one of the dividends. Do you agree that even if it stays for 3 months, that could actually be the best byproduct of this movement?
I do not agree. Reason? Simple. These people who call themselves united opposition, but I've always said divided opposition, is because their intention is just to lament on the current leadership.
Are you classifying Sifuna or Sisi Sifuna among the united opposition?
Yeah, because who was in Kitengela? It wasn't one party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are people from Wiper, ODM. So it's just the whole team. So what does it mean? These people call him to just speak against Ruto. They do not give alternative agenda to Kenya. And they do not agitate for you to register. They are not scheming to win. They're just enjoying the hyper moment. They are not planning to win elections. They are going to enjoy the crowd and speak. It's like they're enjoying the mic and seeing the bigger crowd and talk. They're not telling Kenyans, this is the plan we have for you. This is how we want to take Kenya forward. And we think this is what Kenya deserves. They're just there to say, this one has done this one has done this. You know, even in a local homestead, if you have a child or probably a spouse who only complains about the other, and they do not give a wish on how better you can do it, it doesn't legitimate that you are a writer. If you do not have anything at hand to give, you shouldn't despise whoever gives more. And therefore today we are saying there will be no consistency because youth have nothing to run with from these gentlemen. Youth have nothing to say. We know with these guys, we are going to have good roads. Mm-hmm. With the Sifunas, we are going to have good electricity. With what we are going to have this. And this is their track records before. We can justify that they have done this. Therefore, we can place our bet with them. What am I trying to tell you, Fred? You know, when you do not have tangible and factual things on how you're going to change the country, this hyperness will be difficult to sustain. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it's going to fade so fast because there's nothing they are hanging on. It's like you're throwing a balloon. It's like you're throwing a balloon high. Yeah. It will just come down because there's nothing that holds a balloon. But today, if it has a rope from a hand, like you go to a wedding, it will be used for beautification. Mm-hmm. But if you just throw a balloon higher, it will just come down. It's just like a balloon character. You remember we had Morara. Uh-huh. Who do you tell you that Morara will not chase away President Ruto? Do you now raise money for that gentleman? Is that they hate him the most today. Yeah? They hate him more than they hate Ruto. We had Matiang'i. You know Matiang'i was popular even in US before he came. Mm-hmm. His T-shirts and caps were trending here, the merchandisers of Matiang'i. Where is he today? All right. Then came in Rikiji. It's like you've forgotten how hyper it was. Yeah? We could not even speak here. Rikiji could order a function and president, and you had more following online than the president. Mm-hmm. Today is not the same thing. Yeah? Now we have Sifuna. In fact, Sifuna's light is going to dim out so fast. Mm-hmm. Than his predecessor in the lane.
Before the break, I promised you that we're going to widen the panel. So we have Mazden Bet, also a political analyst, joining us. Mazden, do you agree that probably this may not last as long as many expect? And Hans Ropp rightly puts it that exciting the young Kenyan voter or potential voter may happen in a day, but cannot be sustained long term.
Good morning, our viewers, and thank you so much for inviting me to this show. One thing I've realized in this country is that the hype always fades and the movement grows. And I'll put Sifuna in a category whereby right now the country is in a crossroads between choosing the political of noise and the political of empowerment. This Sifuna thing, I put the same as the people, because history always tells us that when you have so much hype and when you go back to to now the real show, the votes, it's always a difference thing. And given that we have 1 year to election, right now the youths are looking for empowerment, job opportunities, and creative innovation and resource mobilization by the government. I think this government has done enough right now for the youth. But Sifuna and the others, I think they don't have any political manifesto to tell the Kenyans that this is what we are going to do if we are elected.
Is it a Sifuna problem or a Gen Z issue that they have such a short attention span?
You know, the problem with the Gen Z is that when you go to the votes, if IBC announces that the political numbers right now in the IBC is around 22 million Kenya voters. If the Sifuna movement makes the youth to register for up to 5 million votes, is now I'll say, actually this is a movement.
Do you see that happening?
It's not going to happen.
All right. Hafith, what do you feel about this? The accusation is that the attention span of the Gen Z politically doesn't last very long. They were the same people who even suggested, even proposed Fred Matiang'i could be a potential candidate that they would support. Once he declared his candidature for president, that excitement is no longer there. Do you feel that, yes, Gen Zs may be a good fan base, but sustaining that fan base, at least till election day, that's the biggest problem?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I will want to disagree with the notion that Gen Zs, the hype or what they do will definitely fade. Okay, for some reasons, or at some point, it may look so. But with Sifuna, I think we cannot tie everything they are doing only to Gen Z. Sifuna and the team are not just like any other Gen Zs who are out there demonstrating or saying 1 term, 2 term, or whatever it is. These are politicians. These are people who understand what they're doing. And I think we need to separate issues here. Sifuna is someone who is already a senator and in a political party. Whatever they are coming up with, this is one thing I think we don't just wish away. The team, I hear my friends here saying they don't have agenda, they don't do this, they don't do that. But I think they are yet even to that point. Mm-hmm. I didn't find out if Sifunas and the team even said they are looking for this or they are going for this thing. They are yet. Mm-hmm. Unless maybe I'm not so privy.
But it's clear that they've excited
the excitement,
a certain demographic.
The excitement has always been there. It's only that those people lost touch with Matiang'i. I think he don't resonate well with youth.
They are the ones who suggested, they even proposed Matiang'i.
Because there were no options at that point.
Uh-huh.
The only option at that time was the normal refugees and the team, the likes. But now there are young people who normally even used to resonate. Kinababu Wino has been there in the Gen Z protest. Sifuna has been there always speaking. So it's what people always wanted. Can we have these young people at least come one side from this older non-politician so that we can wait as young people and see, yes, these are seasoned politicians, the older generation. These are the young, at least movement we can see and resonate with. And if they, that is the Sifuna team, will separate themselves from the Azimios of this world and I don't know what's called, the united or divided oppositions, and stand alone, then I'm sure this is not something to reckon with.
Castro, it is true that Sifuna is yet to declare anything, or even that group is yet to declare whether they are going for presidency. As it is right now, he's still insisting he's a SGO of ODM. And the older generation, even especially within ODM, has already declared that Sifuna without ODM is a nobody. In fact, someone said that even an MCS seat he may not be able to get without ODM. Do you agree that he's stature, his hype right now is tied to ODM and nothing else. Once he detaches and probably declares interest in something else, that will be the end of him.
Well, that one might a little bit look minute, because as of today, Sifuna is a making of Raila Amolo Odinga. And the making of Raila Amolo Odinga is a making also of the ODM. So how Raila Odinga made ODM is how most of these young thugs in ODM were really nurtured. And we are having a very generational tussle between the old guards and the new generation. And it is high time that we accept the reality in the ground, that it is time that generational realities grow into our minds, and we agree that times have changed, and not only in Kenya, even in the group, that times have changed, and you have seen the way the political conversations are being driven across the world. And when I say that, I wonder where the likes of Nahans and those who support the regime are getting that the conclusion or the context that this is a hype. Remember June 2024, it started with a poster. It just started with a poster, and then they never saw it coming. So even this one, I wonder why they tend to think that they are seeing it coming, because they are not.
But even sustaining what we saw in 2024 has been a challenge.
Friend, it is not about what we sustained. It is about what we won. The battle was won. And we actually were able to push back the regime, the Ruto's regime. It is the Ruto's regime that went back to restructure. And they are meeting also a Gen Z or a generation that did not go to just, or did not go to sleep, or did not just, forfeit the mandate. They are still on the mandate. But this time, loud, it is not on social justice. It is not on just about demonstration. It's about a protest vote. It's about politics. Now they haven't seen young people engaging in politics. Politic. Because that is the era that we are engaging. And I tend to wonder where they are also, they would draw their hype and maintaining the Gen Z. If they think that this cause, which is natural, it's not the Gen Z cause, it's not the generational mandate, I wonder where the regime would come and grow a friendship or grow some collaboration partnership with the young people in this country with something that the young people are hosting them against. Remember, they have, the young people have murder charges against the regime. They have corruption charges against the regime. They have also unconstitutional charges against this regime. So where the regime would draw the hype or draw a movement with the young people, it's where I don't see any parallel. Or
but the question now is, what would ensure the sustainability, Ken? That ensuring this attention from the Gen Zs stays or sustains for a longer period. What should happen? They suggest, and Hafith rightly put it, Sifuna and the team are yet to declare what they're doing. Tomorrow they're going for rally in Kakamega. What exactly is the direction? What direction should they give that would be able to sustain this hype, if you may call it, till probably election day? What do you think it would take?
Thank you. Allow me to say that I agree with what my brother is saying. And the direction should be very clear, but I don't think there is an urgency to that. What we need to do, what we need to say is, at the end of the day, Sifuna must understand, and Sifuna and the team, because most of them are people within ODM setup right now. They have to understand that the group or the movement that is following them, not all of them are pro-ODM. And majority would wish if they would give them a vehicle to get into. So as they move, as they mobilize and keep building the movement, they must have that in their mind, that an alternative vehicle will be needed for that crowding that they keep pulling. Because at the end of the day, if you see Raila Odinga during his time, he could bring the city to a standstill with the demonstrations and mobilization and everything. But when the sun goes down, those people are going back to ODM. At least they had the house. So then Sifuna and his team must also be clear that if it doesn't matter how much they are going to pull in Kitengela, Busia, or Kakamega, but when the sun goes down, those people must be shown the house they are going to sleep.
And it's not ODM, because they're still members of ODM. I'm saying that if at all he goes back to ODM, or maybe they manage to get a truce and is retained as a SG of the party, this movement dies.
chances are that if he retains, if he goes back to ODM, remember, most of these people are not broad-based. Most of these people are saying that this broad-based thing is not working for us. And Sifuna is the stubborn child within the broad-base that is speaking what we are not able to speak, or what we are speaking but we don't have the platform to echo it. So then if Sifuna goes down and retreats back to ODM, chances are that these people are not likely to go back with him in ODM. The same situation that Oburu is in right now. He's handing over ODM to President Ruto, but he's not handing over the people. Get that? The people are now saying, okay, we are not part of that broad base, but the party can just go to Nene. So Sifuna and Babu Owino and the team, at the end of the day, they must give those people who follows them a house.
A party.
A party. Of course, there must be a party that at the end of the day they go into. But let me just say something. And I said in my opening remarks that it doesn't matter how much mobilization we do. If you don't convert these numbers into votes, then we have a big problem.
All right.
So the conversation must now shift from sloganeering, hyping, and doing all that to a well-defined conversation, so that we end up having these people who turns up, these youth who turned in Kitengela, they must be registered as voters, so that any young person who marched out in 2024 can now march to the polling station and cast that vote.
All right.
Yeah.
And even as we continue with this conversation here in studio, a number of people also contributing their opinions online through our various social media pages, TV47 Kenya on YouTube, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, and also TV47 Digital on X. Let's sample some of that. And what are people saying?
He says Sifuna is like a mouthpiece for the young people. He's speaking what the young people cannot talk about. But we'll be coming with a question after we take a look at what the people are saying this morning. Collins Ouma Otieno, who is Sisi? The question is, Sisi ni Sifuna, is it a genuine movement or just a political hype? Chirchir Joffrey, is just a matter of time. Maybe Jezebel needs some blood. Never associate with politicians who support protest for nothing. Luis Magowi says, yes, with Sifuna running for president and Millie Manga, his deputy. That's a direct ticket. Yani, they win Nyalhodia. Oh, wow, that's new. So Millie Manga pia ameletwa hapo. Peter Mabea, anything trending in Kenya, huo ni moto wa karatasi. Advisor Pastor Emmanuel Barasa Manu, Sisi ndio Sifuna. Amos Anyanga Atsali says yes. Yeah, amesema tu yes. John Temrege anasema hata nyi TV47 nyi ndio Sifuna. All right. Stephen Musioka, Sisi ndio Sifuna. And Obaigwe KE says itaisha pia hii. We have some more. All right, we have a video. Let's watch some videos from WhatsApp.
Yes. Good morning, Kev, with Fred and Anne at TV47. My name is Kirui Simon from Bomet County. Thank you for this opportunity so that I can give my input on the question that you have posed about our Senator Sifuna. I want to say that Senator Sifuna is a leader that the Gen Zs have been rallying behind. This is a leader who has the energy. This is a leader who has the vision. This is a leader in terms of performance. This is somebody who has delivered.
Kev, good morning, Kenya. Thank you, Fred Inimbali and Anne Odida, for giving me this wonderful chance. You have asked me that Sifuna, is he a good person or is he right for the Gen Z? I can say with good capital letters, yes. Sifuna is right for the Gen Zs. Gen Zs, we should stop that narrative that we are leaderless, we are tribeless, and we are rudderless. It's a good time for us Gen Zs that we have a leader whom we should lean on, and the good leader that we should lean on is Edwin Sifuna, the right person that Baba left. Even you have been seeing Sifuna way back, even when Baba was alive, in every press conference, Sifuna could start talking and then Baba could talk, because Baba had to live in Sifuna. Yes, Sifuna is right for us, the Gen Zs, and for
All right, these are just some of the feedback, what Kenyans are saying with regard to our question of the day. But now I would love to pose the question to Ken Babu, even as we take a look, we remind you, viewer, at what we're asking you this morning. Sifuna and Babu being a mouthpiece to you as Gen Zs, is either they're just telling you what you want to hear now, or as one of our viewers said, will this last? The question you're asking though, has the Sisi ndio Sifuna movement reignited the Gen Z spark? Talk to us, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, or next at TV47 Digital. Fred, kindly ask for me that question.
All right, and I think you've posed the question to Ken Babu. Ken, what do you think about that feedback?
The question was if the movement will last. I think, let me say that Sifuna and Babu and the team are not telling us what we want to hear. They're actually saying what we've been saying all over time. But like I said earlier on, majority of young people have been saying these things. Unfortunately, they do not have the platform that which, similar to what Sifuna and Babu are having. Personally, I've been speaking these things out, but my platform, to some extent, my platform is limited to certain demographic. But now when Sifuna comes and speaks the same issues, it goes beyond, it blows out. So they are not saying what we want to hear. They are saying the same things we've been saying over time, but the difference is now the audience and the platform. And I want to say this. This thing is not, it's not going to die as soon as my brother is suggesting. This is not something that is going to pass by time, because it's an issue-based conversation. And it doesn't matter if people are saying that, oh, who was in Kitengela, they've been mentioning, oh, Pauline was there, who was there. People are trying to pinpoint some few errors so that they can sort their simple, less egocentric agendas to divert the attention of the country. But the truth of the matter is, the young people have identified a cause and they are uniting towards that cause.
All right.
And the black and white matter is that the conversation is going back to 2024. Corruption, tribalism, abduction, killings, extrajudicial disappearance. Those are the questions that these people are asking, and they must be responded to.
Yet, discussing Sifuna without talking about ODM is not that easy. Allow me to welcome Ruth Ambogo to the panel. She's a lawyer and also a political strategist. The fact that we still identify Sifuna with ODM, Katibu Mkuu wa chama cha ODM, do you see that affecting this movement in any way, if at all he stays on as a member of ODM, or at least goes back? Do you think that will be the end of this kind of hype that we are seeing, the excitement you're seeing around?
You see, that's the problem of playing too much party politics and forgetting to play individual politics. In as much as we would want to discuss the dynamics of it all, we must understand that there is politics that you play because you're pushing a particular agenda, you're standing for something, you believe in something, and there is politics that you play because you're praising a party leader, you're praising the political party that you're a member of, such that when you decide to detach or even try to move away, it becomes very difficult for people to detach you from who you are. Remember Ababu Namwamba, what happened to him? People still remember him as with his association with ODM back very many years back in the day. And yet he has since moved on. He has joined very many political parties. So that is why, young people are advised, and I always advise that, what is it that you stand for? What is it that you believe in? Can you have an ideology that espouses who you are over and above your party leader, over and above what political party you're supporting? Because I'd say, for example, if Sifuna, let's say, for example, during the 10 years plus, or rather the 10 years that he's the SG of he's become the SG of ODM, had he focused mostly on issues, and I know he speaks about issues a lot of times, but had he made it his brand of politics, that mine is to pursue a particular agenda, mine is to push a particular narrative, mine is to articulate certain issues, over and above being a member of ODM, prioritize issues above ODM, then if he decides to step away, it is easy for people to dissociate him from ODM. But now you see what will happen is, there's a lot of confusion going on right now in this so-called movement of theirs. Is it a rebellion within ODM? Is it people who are just independently pushing another narrative or an agenda that benefits Kenyans? Is it people who have gone on a tangent of their own Are they trying to fight back for their space in ODM or not? So I think these confusions need to be clarified. Are they forming another political party? We need to know, because for as long as you're still claiming you're in ODM, you're still fighting for your space in ODM, and yet you have a movement that you're creating outside ODM, what kind of confusion and chaos are you bringing to the party?
In fact, most of the music, and I think I go back to the rally in Busia, I think the signature tune was Jeshi la Baba.
Yeah.
If they continue that way, do you think they'll be able to marshal this support from across board? Because the Gen Z do not necessarily identify with just one party.
You know, you've said it very right, Fred. Jeshi ya Baba. Baba was Baba. Whether Rob disagrees with me, but Baba was also his Baba. But let me, for a minute before I come to that point, Fred, you know, the people of minority are forgetting one thing. I don't know if Ruth Amboga has joined
that was
them.
not the division.
Ruth is part of us.
It just
I don't know if Ruth has joined them.
It was purely accidental.
We are the majority.
But the people from the government are forgetting one thing. Why did they form Broad-Based in the first place if this Gen Z movement was a hype? Fred, we've seen them from 2024. They said June 25th was a hype. They fought so hard to have a broad-based government. We came again to 2025. They said we are hype. Now, Gen Z have remobilized again and are saying Sisi ndio Sifuna, and they're still saying we are hype. I think someone is either delusional or they're living in a bubble, Fred. But that's beside the point. I want to respond to what Ruth is saying. Sifuna is coming out very clearly and is coming out with a lot of young people. If you watch what happened in ANC of South Africa, the EFF party, Malema, Malema at some point felt infringed with ANC. He decided to come out with so many young people and form EFF, the Red Party. If you see what is happening in Uganda, Bobi Wine, at the same spirit, he has formed a young party of young people fighting the same issues. It is not it's not going to be any different here, because I kid you not, Fred, by the time NDC is done by ODM, 26th of February, their party leader will not agree Sifuna to come back as the SG. So what will Sifuna have to do? He'll have to come out with as many as young people, the likes of Nick Mwangi, the likes of Ken Babu, to go and fight for the rights of young people. Fred.
So you agree with Ken that probably he needs to form a party away from ODM?
That is the only option, Fred. Because I tell you, these young people are not looking back to ODM, because ODM has already been infiltrated. Fred, ODM cannot contain us as young people, Fred, because you saw what happened yesterday in Nairobi, and they're saying that young people are not organized, young people are doing funny things. UDA has come to ODM. They are now giving our mothers money at City Hall in the name of Orange Party to kill ODM. The main purpose of why William Samoei Ruto wants ODM, he wants it dead.
All right. Hans, the issue we've seen, and once this movement started coming up, we saw a lot of praise from the United Opposition towards the movement, simply because I think there were also chants of one term at the rallies in Kitengela, Busia, and elsewhere, and probably tomorrow in Kakamega we may see that. So there's an open invitation for this movement to go join the United Opposition. Do you think that could be consequential if at all they choose that direction?
It's not an open chance for them to join. They have been in opposition. They have been in the United Opposition. They have just been acting in this ODM party. Yeah? Because they have been opposing the stand of the party, de facto supporting the intentions of the United Opposition. So it's just that the party has chosen that we cannot live with this kind of character going forward. So they're going to the right place. They're going to their home. Therefore, I tell you, there's no change they're bringing, because they've been there.
Right.
There's no wave they're bringing. It's just that a spark of a moment that Sifuna is being chased out when there's some kind of hot politics going on. So it gives him trending for some time. You know, my sister had made it like maybe 3 months. But yeah, I'll tell you, if in 2-3 weeks might not survive. Trending of Sifuna.
Will I forget?
I want to challenge Sifuna. If Sifuna thinks he's strong enough and is the awakening of the spirit of Baba, as my brother has indicated before, let him resign and run for senator again. Let him get a party. That's how we can redeem him. That's how we can believe, as Madam Wakili has said, that he has him as a leader on over and above the ODM. You know, I told you before that ODM made Sifuna. Sifuna never made ODM. And without ODM, Sifuna is nothing. Give it a man, Sifuna will be not there.
But I think all of you are in agreement that probably Sifuna should form a party.
It is my opinion, which we shouldn't be agitated. And then there's something else. We are H-mates here in this panel. It looks absurd for somebody who thinks because you do not support whatever the government are doing, you are the agency and you are the youth. Who are we? The agencies who support the government.
Okay.
You know, let me tell you, it will be a low thinking of maybe leader, your leader, to imagine just because you're fighting the government, you are the whole agency. There are many youth who support whatever the government is, and there are also those who do not support. So it doesn't mean that today, if Sifuna goes to hold a rally in Kitengela, it is sure to have decided. If Ruto today goes to Kitengela and fills the roads, it's not the youth. Okay. Let me tell you, one thing I want to tell the united opposition. Stop attacking President Ruto. Share an alternative agenda on where you want to take to Kenya. Let the Kenyans associate with you.
But Vera, the suggestion is that this movement, for it to be consequential, should have its own vehicle, and the criticism you said is that they do not have an agenda. So if they came up with their own vehicle, away from the two major formations, the broad-based and the united opposition, do you think that would be a workable way to actually ensure that this Gen Z hype or excitement sustains longer? Because as we said, Gen Z are a crossboard. They just do not necessarily identify with either the united opposition or the broad-based arrangement. Do you think that a third force with a different party and probably a different presidential candidate backed by this movement would be the answer?
Yeah, I tend to agree that that could be the case, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Let them just enjoy this excitement. Let them enjoy the moment as it lasts, because I don't see this thing lasting, because they don't have, what are they selling? You know, we should not confuse in-house issues and wrangles in ODM as a national issue. All of a sudden it is a crisis, it's a national issue because somebody was removed as the SG. These are in-house issues for ODM. They should sit down and organize their house and then come back to Kenyans.
Don't you think that those wrangles have given birth to something totally different that's beyond ODM?
I don't think so. This is just a politics of opportunism. These are people taking advantage of the situation. I was just sitting here and asking myself, what if Baba did not die? Would we be hearing such voices as ndio Sifuna? These are people who are trying to fight for their relevance. Now that Baba is not there, and some people say that most of the political careers of most of these people in ODM will be dead now with the absence of Baba in the space.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if Sifuna Mazden declared that he's running for president? Do you think that would excite the younger voters?
You know, the younger voters, they are easy. There's difference between social media trends and real votes. People should give the difference between the two. Sifuna voting for president is a good idea and a good noble cause for the country, because we as youths will go and listen to what kind of manifesto he has for us in store. If he's going to bring us back to to politics of rhetorics, I think that's not the way to go. My brother has said that Malema from NC walked away with the youths from NC party and formed his party EFF. So what my angle or my angle is that people like Sifuna, Babu Owino, they are good. They are very young and they're very energetic, and this country needs those kind of leaders. But at the end of the day, what are the solutions are you going to give us? Because if not, I think that's just a political hype.
Yes, and before I come to you, Akili, the issue is how this impacts on the Gen Z, and will it be enough to excite them? So I'm just looking for ways or actions that could lead to that. Hafid, you said, and your criticism was that they've not declared anything. They've not even given a direction. They're just holding rallies. and probably the only thing that comes out of there is the opposition to William Ruto's re-election. Do you think that supporting one-term chance is enough? Or do you think that if at all one of them within this movement declared that they're running for president, away from the two major formations politically, that would actually be a solution for the Gen Z?
Yeah, I want to believe for this movement to survive, for even Sifuna's team to be relevant or to be even sustainable, they don't need to join any of the two functions. The day they will join, whether it is united opposition or the government team, broad-based, then that story ends there. That is even our major problem as young people, the two functions. I don't see difference in the two functions. They are more or less same. Rigiji has been there as the deputy president. So now coming out and saying something else doesn't make him more angel. The rest, but with them, this young, very vibrant, well resonating with youth, if they were to take this chance and make one of them as a president, I bet that is another force not to reckon with. That's the only solution that young people are waiting for. Because already one term we know where it's going. Two term, we already know the team for two term. That is ODM and their short stories, UDA. Then the next force, that is the current movement, Sisi, ndio, Sifuna. Though I'm yet to wait and see what exactly are we up to as this movement. Are they coming up as an alternative force? Are they joining the bands that are already there? But the solution, I'm sure every young person is hoping for now, that the only hope we once had, we said, I think someone said we should not be tribeless, I don't know, leaderless or whatever it is. Now that seems we are having young force that resonates with young people. I'm sure that's end of one term and two term for both of the team. Once they form that strong team and bring one of them as
so they have to declare at least interest in the presidency beyond what we've had so far. Wakili, do you agree that probably that's a solution? For them to continue sustaining this excitement, they have to declare their push for the presidency and support one of their own.
I think they need to do so for the sake of young people, because you cannot come out and mobilize young people the way you're doing, have a platform, have an opportunity to actually give us a young presidency and joke around with the kind of audience they are getting.
And take them back to the same old.
Exactly, and take us back to the same spot. And if there is one thing I will not condone on these studios today, is young people castigating fellow young people who are actually coming out of a bigger movement to create a platform for fellow young people to vie. I have no problem whatsoever with what Sifuna is doing. In fact, my only worry is that, can he define what he's doing? Is he in ODM or is he not? Because what he's doing is right for the young people. We keep saying we want platforms. We keep saying we want one of our own to be president. We keep saying all these beautiful things about how young people should vie. But when one of us comes up to vie, we are the first people to say, Sifuna is just doing this because Baba is dead. I mean, come on. Whenever there's a vacuum in politics, somebody else fills it up. And even if we look at senior politicians in this country who have existed and still continue to exist, including Baba himself, it was always one thing happening in a political party for them to leave and create their own movement. So let us give young people the chance to create a movement. I think what Sifuna and Babu are doing is what should be emulated by every young person in this country. It should show us the direction in the way that we can actually form our own movements. We can actually come out and actually mobilize young people. It should serve as an inspiration to young people. And I wonder, and I always worry a lot, when I see young people who are so attached to the older guards, who are so attached to them, to a point where when a fellow young person comes up to do something very positive for the fellow, that should be emulated by other young people, they are the first ones to say, he should just say he's fighting government. There's nobody fighting government. We fight you or we criticize you if you're not working. If you are working, we would all be in support of you. Yes. So I think that these people should be encouraged. I think that the next best move for them is to give us a presidential candidate, give us options so that we young people can ask ourselves, where are we headed?
Yes.
And while at it, can they address issues that affect us? Can they talk about education? Can they talk about healthcare? Can they talk about
Yes.
the issues that truly affect
Yes.
Mwananchi? Because I think also young people are hoodwinked into these political narratives and waves that take us nowhere without addressing our
And I
issues.
think that was a problem with the Gen Z, that they could not identify with these two major formations because they felt probably they were not addressing their issues. So if at all the Gen Z were to set the agenda for this new formation, what would this demographic be demanding for from any political grouping that they're hoping to identify with? We say, united opposition, you're not doing what we feel you need to. Broad-based, you're also not doing it. What would the Gen Z demand be?
Well, and that actually speaks to the reality of today, because the reality of today is whatever the two functions, the government and also from the maybe the oppositions, they are giving or they're putting now, they're bringing Kenya into a mood of decision making. And how they're pushing Kenyans is whatever people are describing as a hype, it is the reality. That the young people, they want to be involved, they want to be part of a game. Let me tell you, friend, what is going to happen in that team of Sifuna Red and Babu? It's going to bring a new formation, a new generational alliance that no one will be able to counter it. Remember, we, the Gen Zs, or we, the young people, the millennials or the Gen Zs, have a generational mandate. And this time round, it is an issue that we cannot ignore. We might have ignored in so many times, but this time it is a time that we cannot ignore. Remember, we do not have another man in the stature of Raila Odinga to stop any insanity in this republic. So it is the union and the efforts of young people to stop that insanity into any government, any successful government that may come. Whether it's stopping the regime of William Ruto that has been unable to govern this country, with a clear mandate and with a clear purpose and vision, or any successful regime. Today you can see that we have so many people throwing tantrums and words across the country. We have the same political noise going on. We have a political culture of not calming the politics and also projecting the work and the deliveries to the Kenyans, but suppressing Kenyans and also trying to visualize or give visibility to politics. Remember, today politics has more visibility than the developments or the deliverables of Kenyans. And I agree with Ruth that it is time that we support the young generations that are trying to break out from those octogenarians, formalities and formations. Because this time around, when we are cracking this whip and we are asking this generational task, that we are asking a peaceful change of guard, and young people, in their decision, it's what this platform has been embracing, that we need to support our young people, we need to encourage them, and we need to mobilize them in voter registration. And not only voter registration, we need to get them out to vote.
Yes.
Those are two issues, or those are two mandates that we as young people, and we as the bench here, we need to actually get our heads into the deck and ensure that our young people are really
you drew a parallel.
voting.
Thank you, Castro. You drew a parallel what happened in South Africa with the ANC and Malema breaking out. And fine, EFF was not successful in forming government. Now they occupy the opposition benches or alternative space. Do you think that this movement, it comes this year, builds momentum with the Gen Zs, they declare the presidency, next year they go into the elections, probably they are not able to form government. Do you think that having this grouping in the opposition side or in the minority side in the National Assembly, for example, that would probably boost the level of parliamentary consequence or boost parliamentary work in any way? Or is it just proper leadership of the state, president, nothing else?
Fred, let me start by telling you that we are in a situation of generational conversation. Generations are rising to take up the space. And I agree with what Ruth said. It is high time that we step out as young people and identify one of us or a team of us that we align with in terms of ideas, generational thinking, and the future. As of today, the youth are not with the broad-based government. And the same youth are not aligned fully in the opposition. Mm-hmm. So where are these young people? They are hanging somewhere in the middle. But then that means they must be given the direction. And this direction is the vacuum that Sifuna-led team has identified, and they are running away with it. And that's why at the end of the day,
that team must declare presidency. To accommodate this group, they have to declare presidency and come to the table and negotiate and have conversation about intergenerational conversation with the old guys and the young people. So that we, at the end of the day, when we are landing, we land somewhere that we are having a movement that will converse as far as the future is concerned. And
let me about the table, Ken. Does it mean that if this movement is attracted probably to a pre-election coalition with any of the movements right now, that would not be attractive to the Gen Z? Is that what you're saying?
My brother said here very well that if Sifuna today joined, and I think I also said it, if he goes back to ODM as the SG, he loses this group, this following. Equally so, if he joins the opposition as of it today, he will still lose this following. Then what does he have to do? He has to give these people a house
all the way.
And go all the way. Because let me tell you, Fred, if you looked at what happened in Kitengela, those were young people aligning with a generational movement. And the conversation around there is education, health, accommodation, security. These are people who want to do their stuff from online and sit at home. A conversation that is not on the broad-based table. Get that? So what Sifuna team needs to do today for the youth and for the generation, number one, give them a house. Number two, declare presidency. And I started by saying Sifuna, as of now, is beyond county politics. Edwin Sifuna has surpassed county politics. He's a national figure and is somebody who can go for presidency and equally get it.
Right.
He has to declare that and give a direction of that group. And as I add on that, I worked with Sifuna in Baba and Raila Odinga's campaigns in 2022. I was amongst the young people who were leading the Nyanza front in Baba campaign. And the person I know in Sifuna, let it be known to my brother Hans, that the person I know in Sifuna, this thing is not going to die as soon as people are thinking.
All right.
It's going to get more heated as we progress into the future.
Okay. I want, because we have only about 10 minutes and we need to sample some feedback, so I'll give you about 60 seconds, 50 seconds for your final comment.
I have not even spoken to give my final comment.
You're the first one. You're the first one, Nick. Go first, 50 seconds only. And I'm going to use a timer so that everyone gets a chance.
That would be really unfair to me, Fred, but that's fine.
50 seconds, don't waste it.
Fred, one thing that it is known and the government fears is what the Gen Z will do, what they have done and what they are going to do. It is very clear and it's very straightforward that our main issue, our top of the issue, we have to change the man on the seat. The big man on the seat. He has killed our people. He has frustrated our mothers in hospitals. SHA is fumbling every now and then. Our people are not going to school. You see the CBC is failing and everything is a mess. But one thing is very clear. Me and as a person standing for people of Roysambu, we're in that movement called Sisi na Sifuna. Mama Roysambu is in that movement called Sisi na Sifuna. San Park is in that movement called Sisi na Sifuna. And above all, Fred, because I have read this book and probably you should read it, the Unwritten Rules of Politics by Mheshimiwa Kathy Irungu. It clearly tells us where we are supposed to go and how we are supposed to do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Hans, 50 seconds also.
Fred, I would have had a lot to say, but just because of time, let me just say a few. One, I want to tell Wakili, do not be agitated when some of us go against youths who we could see us leading nowhere. You know, it doesn't mean because you're creating a movement, you have an agenda, and we should support you. You get it? It doesn't mean because you have a youth face, you're a darling. We also have enemies in the youth. The same way even those who are unwise get hold. But anyway, let me just say this.
20 seconds.
How does 30 seconds go that way?
Used it in a different way. Everyone has to get that.
Let me just say this, Fred. If Sifuna today wants to win the heart of a youth, he must give us the agenda and why we should support him. Okay. And why I'm so sensitive about this kind of leadership is because there are people running with Sifuna of the likes of Babu Wino who have integrity issues, even to shooting of somebody, and they never resign from their position of leadership.
Okay.
So we cannot just run and say, because you are youth and you've created a movement, we are just with you.
Right. Thank you, Hans. Hafith, you go next. 50 seconds.
Thank you. For me, I will say two things. One to the team Sifuna, For them to sustain, they should be off the two. And to the government, I come from a region that is ravaging with drought. And life out there doesn't even allow us to talk of Sifunas and whatever of this world, because the kind of problem that is facing that side, and my friends here seated, some of them are close to government, and someone will say, I think my friend there said, government is working so well. My friend is working so well that people are dying there. It's working so well that people don't have water and anything. I'm talking of leaders. That includes leaders from Northeastern. I don't mean only the president. I mean everyone in that leadership. So I think the only alternative we will have as young people from that part of the world is in Sifunas of this world for them to live the one term.
All right, thank you. Vera.
Okay, Fred, I would like to say that if Sifuna and team want to lead the Gen Zs, the Gen Z movement is, first of all, leaderless, and it is tribeless. Let them come out of the tribal cocoon. Let them come out of the ODM discussion in the political space, and they will win our hearts. So, because there are a lot of issues to be discussed, there are a lot of issues to be addressed in Kenya. So it is this is a time to amplify our voices. This is the right time for Mimi Ndio Sifuna, but not with the right ideologies. So they should bring those voices. These are the voices that we have missed for the longest time as the young people, but in a positive way. Let them bring their ideas, bring the alternative measures that they want to be put in place.
Okay, thank you. Mazden, you next.
You know, in every government settings, there's always a problem. And my brother has talked about SHA. Ever since, because I used to work for Raila Amolo Odinga in the last campaign, and from my experience with NHIF and my experience with SHA, those are two different settings. People should know that at the end of the day, when a new baby is born, there are always complications, there are also some problems. And at the end of the day, the baby learns and he grows up. So I might not say that SHA is not working or not kind of anything, but what I know is that for anything to do, we must give a chance to youth leaders. Like the way the president has done in his government, he has appointed some youth leaders in his administration from the broad-based, of which, from which I give it a chance that we, the youths, are the future of our nation.
All right, thank you. Ruth?
Well, mine is to say that in as much as we are discussing the Sifunas of this world, let us not forget about our county leaderships. Nairobi itself has already been auctioned, meaning that Nairobi has lacked a leader. And I always say, and I will repeat it again, Nairobi deserves a manager. Yeah? I see my brothers laughing. I don't know why they laugh.
Continue.
Mention your candidate.
No. Your time is riding.
I wonder why they're laughing.
Like Sifuna.
Nairobi deserves a manager.
Yes.
Because if politicians are incapable of managing Nairobi to an extent where they have to auction it, we deserve a manager, and that manager, they know it. It's not Sifuna. Irungu Jakera.
All right.
Fred, let me just land. Let me put my closing.
Yes.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. And I want to say that the government does not fear the opposition. The government fears the direction that the young people are going to take. And if today the young people says that we are moving Sifuna and the opposition together, the president will have no alternative but to vacate the office. And I want to say that Sifuna has outgrown the county politics, and in the absence of Sifuna in the Senate, I will offer myself as a senator of Nairobi County, because you cannot change, you cannot replace the brilliance of Sifuna with a comedian.
All right. Thank you. Fred, Castro, go ahead.
Thank you, Fred. I think I have been the coolest panelist in this panel. And as I close, I want to actually talk to young people and ask them all, let them know that Kenya, as of today, the demographic, as a political science, I have analyzed and I have come to a conclusion that Kenya is ripe for another 35 years president. And it is possible. We have very brilliant generation and people who are very eager to take up leadership. And I can only tell the older generation that we are not intimidated and we are coming to take up on this. I'm speculating that in 2027 we might have the youngest parliament. There will be a new face in parliament and Senate. And my friend Babu, thank you so much. And you grill for Nairobi. I think you also bring the mandate to the national or to the county government of Nairobi, because we have a tendency or a culture that is growing that, you know, when a man is incompetent, that he needs now to be helped and share, you know, the responsibility. That is not the rule of law, and it's unconstitutional.
Right.
If you are, if you cannot deliver on a mandate where Kenyans have given you, you need to vacate office, and a new member comes to, a new leader gets into office.
Castro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Castro.
God bless Kenya.
Right. Let's take a look at some of your feedback online. Anne?
Term, a movement, or is it a movement or just a political hype? That's the question you're asking you online. Let's sample some of your feedback. Vincent says, when things are not working, pronounce it as it is. The movement is not diminishing. Without Sifuna, ODM is nothing. Nasiali saying Sifuna is a Gen Z leader, Sisi ndio Sifuna. Charles Ndungu says, funny thing is that some of the panelists will beat down anything good happening. The battering of the Sifuna faction is just sickening. They are young but can't seem to accept that good is coming. Governor Mbani, Sisi ndio Sifuna. Moses Mukalo says, look at the history of Baba. He split from Ford Kenya with a kind of the so-called hype. All right, Amos Anjishi, let Sifuna declare his 2027 presidential ambitions in Kakamega without any further delay. Kenyans are waiting for Kakamega declaration. Mary Washira says Sifuna is the owner of the vehicle but should give it to an experienced driver who's familiar with the corridors of power like the current opposition aspirants who will dismantle Sugoi with facts. They have the records. Kalonzo Ailante was in politics kabla hata Sugoi kupangwa na Moi. All right, Hilary Kamalishi. Do we have it? Hilary Kamalishi says, of course, it's shaping Kenyan's politics. Everywhere you go, you'll hear Sisi ni Sifuna or Mimi ndio Sifuna Jacaranda live. These are just some of your feedback. Once again, the question we are asking is, has Sisi ndio Sifuna term, is it a movement? Oh, there it is. Has the Sisi ndio Sifuna movement reignited the Gen Z spark? Talk to us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube and on X at TV47 Digital. We can continue this conversation online. My handle is at Ann_Odida. Fred, your handle?
At Fred Indimuli is my handle on X. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'd like to thank my panelists, Nick Mwangi, Ken Babu, Castro Agakuna Jima, Hafith Mohamud, Hans Rop, Vera Chepkoretwe, Ruth Ambogo, and Mazden Kibet. Thank you so much for your time at TV47. Is the Sisi Sifuna movement, has it managed to reignite the Gen Z spark? That's a question. The conversation continues online. My name is Fred Indimuli. Good morning.